on today's show, we're talking about some money moves that were made just yesterday by the Baltimore Ravens. Has to do with Marcus Williams, his contract, and then the second half of the show, on the back half, we're going to take a little bit of a look at what that means for this offseason and for 2025 NFL free agency. I got a little bit of a challenge for y'all. Need you to help us out, just for the fun of it. Steelers now just got 414 likes on a video. Can we beat it? They're even called Steelers Talk, but I hate them so much, I just call them Steelers now. So if you want to disrespect them even more, go ahead, like the video, try to beat that 414. Let's put them in the ground. Let's get 500. So, just yesterday, Baltimore and Marcus Williams agreed on a revised contract that will allow them to use a post-June 1st designation on him. That just means they're going to cut him after June 1st, and they're going to get some money back. So let's look a little bit deeper onto what this actually means, okay? His initial deal was 5 years, $70 million. And again, I'll talk about this in just a little bit. Eric DeCosta has done a lot of great things. That's not one of them, okay? So this new deal, they reduced it from $12 million a year to $2 million a year. If you ever want to know how to take a $10 million pay cut, go suck ass on a football field for 14 weeks, and that'll do it for you. What that created for Baltimore was $9.9 million in cap space eligible right now. And then, after you cut him, after 6-1, you get $2.1 million in cap space. So, total together, that's like what? Quick math, $12 million in cap space you created just by restructuring and then cutting this guy. You weren't even playing anyway. There will be some dead money, $6.7 million approximately in dead money for the years of 2025 and 2026, because those are both the years he was supposed to be on this roster. But again, if he's not on it, that's a net positive in my opinion. Again, that first contract was bad. It was one of the worst moves I think Eric DeCosta has made as the Baltimore Ravens general manager. One of them going up there might be the Deontay Johnson trade, but again, you didn't give up that much. You wasted a lot of money over these past 3 years on a guy like Marcus Williams, especially this year. But I will say this, restructuring, opening up more cap space, and then getting them off this team in the future anyway, great save, okay? Wipe your hands clean of it, move on, admit that you were wrong, and let's try to get some money back when we can, okay? So grade the move from Eric DeCosta to create $10 million in cap space right now, just from restructuring Marcus Williams' contract. Grade it for me in the comment section down below, A, B, C, D, or F. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break coming up in just a little bit. Don't panic. Take advantage of that time. Scroll down the comment section, find this pinned comment, and give me your grade. So why did he get a $10 million pay cut, you may be asking? And I don't think you actually are. That was just more for rhetorical purposes, because everybody knows he was one of the worst players, not just on this defense, but on this team. His overall PFF grade was a 42.9. It's 160th out of 170 strong safeties. Pass rush, 55.1. Good job. You cracked the top 100. That's awesome, Marcus. Let's get you $12 million. His run defense was 69.4, 63rd out of 170. His best statistic was his run defense. Shield your eyes. Make sure your wives and children are out of the room, because he had a coverage grade of 37.3, 161st of 170 safeties. So you're telling me, of those three statistics, the one that you would want to be the best, being his coverage grade, is easily his worst. And we talked about this a lot in the beginning of the season, especially right up to the trade deadline. We wanted them to make a move. They didn't in the safety when it comes to trading for him, but we just knew that what he was doing wasn't good enough. And that's kind of why he's been a healthy scratch since about week 11, week 12. But this team made a jump when they replaced him. And I think that's kind of goes into this contract situation as well. Because it's not like you just replaced him and then things just got a little bit better. Guys, since you've replaced him with Ardarius Washington, things have skyrocketed. If you look at this defensive stat from weeks 1 through 10, compared to the last 6 weeks that this team has been playing, it doesn't even compare. Just look at the rankings. 25th, 27th, 32nd, 30th, 32nd, and then first, second, 11th. Okay? And again, I'm not saying this was all Marcus Williams' fault, but when you stopped playing him and you moved Darius Washington his position and you put Kyle Hamilton solely in that free safety spot, things have changed, okay? And so the fact that you not only get to cut him from your roster, but get back around $11 or $12 million in space, I think that is a massive win. But what does that money mean for Baltimore? What will that mean this upcoming offseason? What will that mean this upcoming free agency period? I got more on that in just a little bit. Make sure you guys hang around for it. Before we get into any of that, I got to talk about our sponsor, and that is our friends over at GameTime. It is the best place for the best prices, the lowest prices, best seats, and it's all guaranteed right at GameTime. Today's show is sponsored by it, so the new year brings a lot of great things. Brings food, celebration, friends, family, but most importantly, it brings playoffs, guys. And there's nothing that can quite compare to the rush and excitement you feel watching your team in a playoff game, either at home or on the road. And if you want to have that memory for the rest of your life, that's exactly where GameTime can help out. GameTime has an awesome new feature. It's called GameTime Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals for the highest value seats at the time. For some events, GameTime Picks identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. And guys, GameTime, it's the only ticketing app that I have in my phone, and that's just because it's so dang easy. My favorite part is the last-minute tickets and flash deals. I liken myself to be somewhat of a procrastinator from time to time, and a lot of times, you know what? I'll say to my wife, let's go do something. Let's go to a game. Let's go to a comedy show, a theater production, and then I'll just wait to buy tickets. And with other apps, that kind of bites you in the butt, but with GameTime, you get the last-minute tickets and flash deals. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It is game time. So coming up in the year of 2025, the Ravens have quite a bit of pretty important free agents, to put it lightly. Okay? Ronnie Stanley will be an unrestricted free agent. Patrick Ricard, Nelson Aguilar. Then Darius Washington will be a restricted free agent. Also Malik Harrison, Tylan Wallace, ton of other guys in that category, okay? And so they, in my opinion, this is kind of useful money for that, right? This is exactly what you do a deal like that for, is to lock down one of those guys, to keep them on your roster. Because if this team makes a deep run, then I have a feeling this front office is just going to say, hell, let's just run it back again, okay? Let's just run it back again. Speaking of running it back again, we'll be running it back our watch parties this upcoming weekend against Pittsburgh. Our last one was a massive success, 88,686 views. Currently on the channel, we're sitting at 25,425 total subs. Thank you so much for every single one of you that have subscribed to the channel so far this season. It's been a season of massive growth. And if you haven't already, look at all the numbers that we're doing. Come join the family by hitting that sub button. And so you take a look at these free agents, right? You see Ronnie, Patrick, Nelson, Darius. If I had to pick two that were the most important to keep on this roster, in my opinion, I think it's Ronnie Stanley, and I think it's Darius Washington. Okay, let's talk about both for a second. Ronnie Stanley, I think that there's a reason you paid him as much money as you did in the first part of his contract just a few years ago. But he just did a year where he was, cross your fingers, fully healthy. Not only that, but he was dominant. And he proved that he is a cornerstone right there at left tackle, which every Hall of Fame quarterback needs their Hall of Fame left tackle. And I'm not saying Ronnie Stanley's going into the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying he gave you a year of full health, and he gave you a year of absolute domination. Okay, let's talk about number two on that list, Darius Washington. We talked about it just a little bit ago. I don't want to put the entire defensive turnaround just on the back of him. But let's just talk about the big plays that he's made in big-time situations. Week 16, Pittsburgh game. Russell Wilson scrambles, breaks out of the pocket. Gain of 20, 25, gets down to the 5-yard line. Guess who causes the fumble? or Darius Washington. Game against the Texans, Christmas Day. You're up. It's 10-2. They are a touchdown away and an extra point from tying that ball game. They go for it on 4th and goal. Guess who hits Joe Mixon out of bounds? Turnover on downs. That game's over right then and there. He makes big plays every single time he's out on the field. He's the hardest hitting safety in the league. Not to quote the Madden clip in the video that everybody loves. He's the hottest hitting safety in the league. But it's true. That's what we've got right here in our Darius Washington. But it's not just Ravens players that are going to be free agents. Also, everybody in the NFL. They have to deal with free agency as well. And here are some of my favorite realistic free agents, okay? Because you're going to have a guy like Trey Smith out there, okay? He's going to be a free agent. T. Higgins, he's going to be a free agent. Would I love those guys? Sure. But with the money that you're already guaranteeing to some of your other assets, you just don't have the money to get those guys. So I think Chris Godwin, I think he's very realistic to get. DJ Reed, Dre Greenlaw, he might be a little more expensive than I like, but still, love what he does at linebacker. Him paired with Roquan Smith, they'd be unreal. Khalil Mack, old, but you've seen the production you've gotten out of a guy like Kyle Van Noy, guys you've gotten out in the past like Jadeveon Clowney. I think he could fit perfectly with this defense. And then Amari Cooper, again, a veteran guy, veteran wide receiver, but still one of the better route runners in the game. So of those 5, most realistic in my opinion, Chris Godwin and Khalil Mack. Chris Godwin's only 28 years old. He's still got some tread on the tires. Sure, he's going to be coming off of a season where he dealt with an injury, but still. Nelson Aguilar's a free agent. He might not be in this wide receiver room. I don't want to necessarily just run it back with only Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. Give me Chris Godwin. Put in that wide receiver room. I really like the way that looks, okay? Khalil Mack. I said it already. Kyle Van Noy. He had 11.5 sacks on this year. 11.5. And he's older than Khalil Mack is, okay? Jadeveon Clowney had the best year in his career last year with Baltimore. This team is known for taking older edge rushers, older defensive talent, and doing things with them that nobody really in their careers has been able to do with them. I think Khalil Mack could be that next step. Well, let's talk about our guys again, okay? Pick one. Or Darius Washington or Ronnie Stanley. If you want Ronnie Stanley to come back next year, give me an RS. If you want Darius Washington, give me an AW. I think they both could be back, but you let me know which of the two you're going to pick. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate it. It's been an awesome week. So excited for this weekend. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Let's take down the Steelers.